Welcome to Rick's Corner, brought to you by Old School Labs, the brand I trust and the only one I put my name to. Use my code drasin12 on the link below.
Welcome to Rick's Corner. The man, the myth, the legend. Now on with the show.
Rick's Corner. Many of you had asked me to do the stories from the past, which I've done 2 episodes already through the 60s. I think part of the 70s. So let's pick it up at the end of the 70s and then we'll go from there. Because the 80s were a whole different story. As you know, we trained down at the beach in the 70s with all the guys at the original Gold's Gym. And then Joe Gold, who owned the gym, sold it. He sold it, and then it sold again, and then it sold again, and then they moved it to 2nd Street in Santa Monica under new ownership. Once they moved it, it wasn't really the same. It didn't have the same vibe or the same atmosphere it had. It was still a good gym, but it wasn't what it was when I was on Pacific and Brooks. About a year or two later, in 76, Joe Gold wanted to open another gym. He had been at sea as a merchant marine, and he wanted to come back and open up another gym, but he couldn't use his name because he sold his name, Gold's Gym. So he opened up World Gym at 2210 Main Street. And the funny thing was, I lived right across the street on Strand. I mean, I could walk out my back door and be at the gym. It was a 2-story gym. Everything was on the 2nd floor. Everybody who trained at the original Golds came to World, including Arnold and Draper and Zane, everybody. They just moved over to Joe because they were followers of Joe and they gave him that support. So they weren't at Gold's anymore. It was a good gym. He built all the equipment like he did in the original, except everything was brand new now in 76. He came to me and asked me to do the logo of the gorilla, which he used. And it stayed there for quite a while. Then he had moved the gym over to, I believe, on Brooks can't think of the name of the street that goes by, but it's a 3-story gymnastics building. And it remained there for quite a while. In the meantime, in 79, I moved out to Sherman Oaks from Santa Monica. I bought a house. I got married and I had a son, and it was time to get a house. And at that time, you could buy a house, a really nice house for very little money. So Joe decided that he owned property out here. He's going to build a gym near me. So he built the World Gym in Panorama City, exactly like the gym he had at the beach. And he had his little buddy Chubby Arbens, Charlie, run the gym, and then Joe Sinceri ran the gym, and I trained there. I drove back down to the beach for a long time until I just got tired of making that drive every day. I'd leave at 9 in the morning, come home at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It took the whole day just to go down to train at that gym at the beach and hang out for a while and come home. So to train in Panorama City was like 5 minutes away from me. It's so much easier. But it was a whole different level of people. It's not the same people you had originally. We had Dave Johns there, Albert Beckles came out, Corey Everson, Jeff Everson, Dennis Tinorino, people of that nature, and we all trained together, and we had a good time. It was a good gym. I had great workouts. It was hot in the summer, cold in the winter. It was so cold that there was icicles on the dumbbells, and I ended up getting pneumonia. There was a whole new group, and I would take my son to the gym with me because at the time my wife had a job, and then he'd end up at McDonald's, and then we had another baby. And I'd take them both to the gym. I remember they're sitting in the back of the car yelling, "You guys want to buy steroids?" I said, "Don't say that, you kids. We don't have anything to sell here. They don't want to get stuck doing that." And the gym itself, out and back on the outside of it, there was a mule that belonged to a neighbor. We used to feed the mule apples. But I had a different group. I ended up getting a divorce and dating a girl that I met in the gym who was really in good shape for about 2 years. And it's a whole new life for me. Just another life in itself. I was in great shape, probably the best shape of my life training there. That's where I did the 150-pound dumbbell presses for like 5 or 6 reps. And I felt good. I mean, it was good. It was good. The 80s were different. The 80s were totally different. The music was different than the 70s. The vibe was different. The styles were different. The baggy pants were in, the baggy tops, the rag tops. And so I came out with a line called Big Boy Bodywear. And the big boy bodywear was the baggy tops, baggy pants. They had my big boy emblem on them, and I sold a ton of those. I sold them to all the foreign countries. They'd come out and they'd buy loads of them, and I'd ship them, and that would be it. I also had the ad in Joe Weider's magazine, which helped a lot. Like I said, I dated this girl for maybe close to 2 years, and then that went by the wayside. And then I met somebody else at the mall here who I dated for about a year or so or better, and she stayed with me for a little while. And I just wasn't really into a steady relationship at the time. It's not something that I wanted, and I wanted to work out, and I got in my best shape out here. The people I trained with were good people. We trained hard. I looked forward to going in the morning. I used to sometimes go at 7 in the morning just to get in and get a good hard workout in. I remember falling asleep at the stoplights on the way home. I was so tired after my training. But I hit a couple of contests and I went. I never competed. I was wrestling, so that took most of my time at night. I made all new friends. Well, I had all my old friends, but I still made new friends in the 80s. And some people introduced me to sushi, which I never tried before. Let's go across the street and get sushi. I said, how do you get full on these little tiny things? You got to eat like 100 of them. But actually, I became addicted to it. And it was fish and it was protein, so it was good. Every once in a while, I go down to Santa Monica and I train at the other gym just because I want to keep my foot in the door with my friends and hang out with them and go to Zucchi's Deli. So this went through the 80s, and about mid-80s, I met another girl. I left. That gym was sold to Steve Davis. Steve Davis ran it for, I don't know, a while, and it changed people, it changed clientele, and then he sold it to somebody else in Sunland, California, which was up the hill from us about 15 miles. And all that original equipment that Joe Gold had made went up there, and then it just disbanded. Nobody knows where it is. I wished I could have got my hands on that equipment. It was really good stuff, and I think they sold the whole thing cheap, like 25 grand back then. But no one knows where that equipment is today. It's just gone. I had the table saw out back that he made the benches with. That's about all I have left out of it. So I switched over to Northridge Golds over by CSUN University. Now we had a whole different crowd over there. You had all the college kids. And you had Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake would come in, Chuck Norris, and we'd all kind of hang out together and train together and had a great time. I remember going to the movies along with Chuck Norris and some of his buddies. And really nice guy, just a really nice guy. And it was a different vibe again. The machines were a lot of pulley machines that didn't have a lot of resistance to them. But I tore my tricep. They were doing decline triceps. I never had it reattached. I went to the hospital and they said, no, you just sprained it, but it was detached. And then I met another girl there who was just graduating college. And I was 42. And I thought, do I really want to get into this? It's kind of young. So I went to the graduation and we ended up working that it worked into a relationship. She moved in with me, we ended up getting married, and we had a daughter named Sammy. Sammy's a wonderful girl. I'm so glad I have her as a daughter. She's 27 now. That marriage lasted probably about 22 years or so. I'm still in the same house. She moved out 10 years ago. I just watched Laurel and Hardy and they said, don't ever get married, just find a woman you hate and buy her a house. I thought that was so funny. So we're friends today. I mean, I'm still friends with my exes. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be. She moved on and I'm here. And that's beside the point. That's later in life anyway. Anyway, the 80s were good. Good workouts. Probably at my best, like I said. I was good shape. I ate good. There were restaurants on the way home. The fish places where I really eat right all the time. I'd barbecue a lot. I'd do a lot of steaks. I'd do a lot of fish. And I stayed on my diet tight all the time. So that was kind of fun. I mean, I was around good people that inspired me to train, and then I inspired them to train. And Northridge Goals was a little bit out of the way. It was 10 miles away, so it took me quite a while to get up there by the college with all the traffic. But I went every day, and I went every day. And then someone said to me, why are you going all the way up there? 5 minutes from your house over here on Little Canyon is Gold's Gym, North Hollywood. I said, I didn't know about it. He said, all your friends are there. You'll know everybody there. All the movie business, all the actors, all the producers. So I went over there, and Angel Banos was the owner, and he says, I'd be an honor to have you in my gym. Gave me a membership, and so from that point on, I was able just to go to the gym from my house. I was there in 7 minutes. That's a big difference in time and a big difference in gas. This gym in particular, Angel has several gyms. I don't know, he's got 14 or 15 now, was the first. And it was very, very similar to the original Golds as far as old school style. the barbells, the dumbbells, and all that kind of stuff. They had a good feel to them. The pulling machines had a good feel to them, and it was a really kind of a semi-hardcore gym, yet it wasn't. And to this day, it's still a great gym. I mean, you can go in there and get a terrific workout. So I started training there, and I was married at the time, and we would go in different cars, my wife and I. In fact, we'd go out on the weekend, and people would see us, and they said, I didn't know you guys knew each other. I said, know each other, we're married. They said, we don't even talk to each other in the gym. I said, I'm not in the gym to talk, I'm in the gym to work out. And that's how it happened. You know, you go to the gym, you train, you leave. I do my own thing all day long. I'd come home and have dinner, and then we do what we did. But it's the way it was for a long period of time. And like I said, every once in a while I go down to Venice and train and eat at the firehouse their pancakes and their chicken breast and egg whites, and it was a lot of fun. I'd see people I hadn't seen in a long time. At that point in time, Gold's Gym brought back the Gold's Gym logo that I did. They gave me a VIP membership along with free clothing and to train free wherever I want the rest of my life, which worked out to be a really good deal for me because it opened a lot of doors. It was just too far to drive. You get on that 405 freeway to go to the beach, it's taking an hour, and it's only 17 miles. So it got to be a burden, and over here was so much easier. I thought, I can never train here like I did at the beach. I'll never have the results. It's not the same vibe. I don't feel comfortable doing it. And it didn't take me long, and I fit right in. And I had told my mom, who was alive at the time, I said, I have all my connections at the beach for everything I do. She says, Rick, you have connections wherever you go. You give you a month out here in the valley, you'll have connections everywhere. Sure enough, she was right, and I did. So I worked out here. I wrestled at night for the Olympic Auditorium up and down the coast of California, which I enjoyed. I was able to get more commercials and TV work because this particular gym had a lot of people in the film industry, and you became friends with them, like Denzel Washington, John Lithgow. Oh my God, the list can go on forever. They all came to that gym, and it's only 5 minutes away from Universal Studios. I mean, everything in this area is all studio stuff. So that worked out pretty good. I'm still there today training, and I like it. But this is the 80s. The music in the 80s was the best music, I think, for a long, long time, and still popular today because it kind of took over the scene, and now when you think back about it, it really was good music. Girls had the real high hairdos. The guys wore the baggy pants, and everybody had a different look. From the 70s, it was completely different because in the 70s we used to wear the dolphin shorts to train and a no shirt, or maybe a tank top and no shoes. So styles got even different then. So from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s, things really changed. The 80s down in Venice had a different group with Rick Valente and Hogan and the Barbarians, and all those guys would hang out down there, which was a different group of people, but they were also a fun group, and they had a good camaraderie. They all got along. Everybody got along. Everybody looked forward to going to the gym and seeing each other. It's like going back to high school, where you know everybody or everybody knows you. And this was a good time in everybody's lives, where the government was good, the lifestyle was good, the money was coming in, and my mail order through Joe Weider was doing phenomenal, printing shirts out of my garage. I built all my own self-screening equipment and printed shirts and sent them out every day. Then I got into doing airbrushing, and then I got into doing tattooing for the following 8 years, and did a lot of that as well, which I got tired of it. But it's funny the doors that open when you do what you do. And in bodybuilding and pro wrestling, you are a how do I want to say this? You go out and you're like a magnet. People gravitate to you. They want to talk to you. They want to know about you. They recognize you, or if they don't recognize you, they think they recognize you, and you end up getting all these things and free stuff in the mail and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to take us up to the 80s. I will finish this again, and I'll go into the 90s and 2000 at another point, but that's pretty much what the 80s was like. I had a 23T bucket Roadster with a Corvette engine as a second car. Should have seen me driving down Van Nuys Boulevard with a tank top on. The police would come up to me and they'd say, "Is that thing legal?" I said, "Yeah, it is, but I'm not." And then I got a 78 Silver Anniversary Vet. I had a lot of cars. So it was just a lot of fun back then. Anyway, stay tuned for more. Those are some of the stories I got to tell you. I don't want to get into the situation with dating because I don't want to implicate anybody, and I don't want to confess, and I don't want to become guilty of something maybe I shouldn't have done, which I can't imagine what that could be because I'm just an honest face. But I had my share of good times, and I don't regret it. It's part of a growing period. Stay tuned for more Rick's Corner, and I'll bring you the 90s soon. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed the video brought to you by Old School Labs, use my discount code DRASIN12 on the link below at oldschoollabs.com.
Hey everyone, now you can have the Gold's Gym logo drawn by me, the artist Rick Drasin, personalized and made out to you and signed by me to frame and put on your gym wall or wherever you see fit to do so. It's a piece of bodybuilding history. It will never be duplicated again. It's the largest selling icon t-shirt logo in the world, and I'm the guy that drew it, and I will draw it for you. Just go to my website, rickdrasin.com, and order there. You can pay through PayPal, and it'll be sent out right away. And be sure to watch Rick's Corner for all the videos on bodybuilding, nutrition, fitness, pro wrestling, and anything that suits your interest as far as getting physically fit and being the best you can be from the golden era of bodybuilding.
He's the equalizer, baby. See you next time.